Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is also now syndicated on the Cutting Edge Radio Network and is broadcast around the world. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are listening live to Relics Radio. Again, it's Thursday night, and we want to welcome all of our live listeners here on the Spreaker app. Also want to welcome all of our syndicated listeners on the Cutting Edge Radio Network. And we know that everybody can't catch the show live, so some of you guys are listening to the archive. Hello to you, and we certainly appreciate it. This is our 105th show tonight, and we've only got 2 more shows, and then we start season 3. And in the process of all of this, between the plays and the downloads, we are almost up to 85,000 in that. I'm your host tonight, Digging with Seven.
And I'm your co-host, Tennessee Jeff. How you doing, Seven?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you imagine 85,000 people have listened to our shows?
85,000 people. I never thought it would go that far. I really never did. But, yeah. Man, evidently somebody loves rednecks.
Probably so. You look back, and you say 85,000 people that listen to you. There's probably some stories you wish you hadn't told,
That's right.
Some things you wish you hadn't said or something other, But weather's changed. We had a big frost here in Southern Kentucky this morning.
Buddy, it went straight from summer to winter. I mean, it was 95 degrees one day and 64 the next day. So, and then I'm just glad to see the cooler weather get here, and at least it's rained a little bit and got the ground good and soft for it's in good shape.
Yeah, it is. I went to the picket post a couple of days ago, and it was still kind of hard. We had a little bit of rain, but it was still hard. And then I went back out there for a couple of hours today, and it softened it up some. So we should be in good shape here. I guess we're going to hunt together on Saturday. We had to go. We had to go to Plan B, which will probably be down your way somewhere, because the sites that I looked at today are still in corn and growed up. So that's what we're going to have to do, I guess.
I wonder what they'd say if I took my lawnmower and cut that corn down and made us a little spot out. Well, it's your permissions, not mine. I mean, hey.
I say, I don't know who that guy is. I sure don't. We've got a good show tonight. The last time that our guest was on was September 13th of last year. I went back and looked, and awful happy to have her on again tonight. So go ahead and bring her in, Jeff, if you want to, because we got a lot of stuff to cover here tonight.
We sure do. And Debbie Smikoski from Minelab, how you doing, Debbie?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Our weather's changed, and we're ready to go relic hunting. So, I mean, and then we've got like we was talking earlier, the rain and everything has softened the ground up, so we're definitely ready to go.
And Debbie, you'll be happy to know that I am using the best detector that Minelab has ever made, and that's the GPX.
That's a great machine.
It is. I'll tell you
Without
what,
a doubt.
I had to go and buy me a bigger shovel whenever I bought that, though. It is unbelievable the depth that you can get with that. Of course, you dig some of those 14-inch 22 bullets, and that's not good. And I dug one 18-inch pull tab. I have no idea how that thing got down that far. Of course, they have raised tobacco on that, so they turned the ground. but it has the depth, and it really gets going. But we generally start out whenever we talk to you, we talk shop, and we talk detectors, and we talk settings, and we talk, the process of the launch of a new machine. And we're going to get to that a little bit later, but we're going to start out just a little bit different tonight, ain't we, Jeff?
We sure are. We want to know the Debbie with Minelab. We want to know how you got started in metal detecting, and then how did you start working for Minelab?
Well, so pretty much for my whole career, I've always worked in electronics. I actually worked for Sony for 25 years. So to me, electronics follows through, whether it's a metal detector or a boombox or anything like that. But when I at first started metal detecting, I was probably about 7 or 8, and I had a Radio Shack detector that you actually had to build yourself and solder yourself. So I think I might have dated myself, but that was my very first detector, was a Radio Shack. And then, from there, I probably detected until I was maybe about 11 or 12, and then it got to a little peer pressure that no one else was doing it, so I kind of stopped completely doing it. Never lost the interest in it, just really didn't do it much. And then after I left Sony, I got a call from a recruiter telling me about Minelab, and it was actually their office at that time was about 15 minutes away from my house. And I had, truthfully, I'd never really heard of them, so I did my due diligence, and I realized there is a subculture of metal detectors everywhere in the world. So it was kind of fun to get to meet those people and go in, and my family always makes sure that they remind me, do you remember when you used to wear that Budweiser bucket hat and walk around detecting everywhere you went? And now you've come full circle, and that's what you get to do and get paid to do it. So it's pretty cool.
Man, so you worked at Radio Shack?
No, so Radio Shack was my first detector I ever purchased.
Okay,
and at that time, you had to build it. You had to solder it together and follow those instructions in that. So, it was a handmade unit.
Now
I don't remember them, Seven. You might remember them.
I remember those. I really do. And Heathkit also had one that you would put together. But back in the day, people did a lot of their own electronic stuff. You built a lot of stuff, and Radio Shack was great for that until they changed. I mean, you could go in there and buy transistors and resistors and everything, and they had all kind of kits that you could build. And it made you feel like that you had accomplished something whenever you got all the components and put something together and then flipped the switch on and it worked.
Yeah, it was almost like you had invented something. Put that all together. Yeah,
it really did. What does a normal day look like for you?
Well, I don't have many normal days because I'm either at an event or in an airport, or I was just stuck in Denver for 15 hours because they had a snowstorm whip through, trying to get to California. But if you look at it, so the last 2 weeks I've been in Rio de Janeiro, Barstow, California, Orlando, Florida, and now I'm in New Jersey.
Wow, that's doing some traveling. How many miles do you travel a year?
Well over 100,000 easily.
Man, and what's the favoriteest part of your job?
Doing the events and getting out, and if I have a chance to detect, but talking to people that are using their detectors and learning from them, because they're a huge source of knowledge. That's the funnest part. I mean, to be able to go into work every day in a baseball hat and jeans, I'm all game.
Yep, that sounds like a great job. So, what machine? What is your go-to machine now? Out of all the Minelab machines, I know GPX, Knox, and then the new Vanquish. Which one's your go-to machine?
Well, it depends. So my whole territory is all of North America. So depending on where I am and what part of the country, that's how I'm going to determine my detector. So right now for Relics, it would be either Equinox, or if I'm up in Culpeper, it's going to be GPX because I need it for the depth. And then in Gold Country, it's either the Gold Monster or the GPZ.
Yeah, I've never used the GPZ.
I'm lucky that I have access to all of them. So
yeah, and I guess
is a good thing.
Yeah, and the worst part of that is probably picking what you want to use, because you've got such a selection of things there. I'd be like a kid in a china closet if I had the access to everything. Of course, I've used quite a few of Minelab's machines. The first Minelab machine that I bought was E-Track, and I actually still have it. It's loaned out right now. I'm probably going to have to get it back. I was going to get it back and sell it, but I don't know. I may keep the thing. And then I went to a CTX, and then I went to an Equinox, and then I got the GPX prior to getting the Equinox. But you got a different machine for different sites that you hunt, and different type of relic hunting that you're going to do, or Cohen hunting that you're going to do, or what have you. If you just hit a yard, you're just going to Cohen shoot. What's going to be your Minelab go-to?
Probably it's going to be the Equinox right now, because that's pretty much, that goes with me everywhere, because it is such a versatile machine. But to your point, there's not one perfect machine for every type of soil, or every kind of a gold machine or not. Equinox probably comes the closest to find, being able to find nuggets as well as coin and treasure, and being waterproof. So right now that would probably be my go-to.
Yeah, with it being waterproof, that helps out a lot. And then it's a great coin shooting machine and a great relic machine. And after I've used it quite a while now, and I've realized once you slow down, it'll pick targets out that I've missed with other machines. So, and then it's a really great machine. But like Lois said, the GPX, that's our Virginia machine, a Tennessee machine, Kentucky machine. It's killer. We can go to all these other sites that people's pounded to death, and then we'll find bullets that they couldn't reach with the other machines.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. It's very rare that I will travel with just one machine. If it's going to be coin and treasure, it's going to probably be Equinox along with the CTX. And then for gold, it's going to be a Gold Monster for all that really tiny stuff, and then a GPZ. And they'll throw in an Equinox there too, because it will find some small targets as well.
That sure will. Out of all the places you've been metal detecting, and everybody that you've been with when you're metal detecting, what is the coolest find that you've seen somebody find?
Boy, that's hard, because, man, everybody that detects right next to me finds really good stuff. So
why is it always that way, that people all around you, and then you start kind of trying to hoard in on their spot, and then they move over and they find something somewhere else, and then you got to move again?
Yeah, there's nothing there. I did see one person within an hour in Virginia dug 2 different swords. So, literally 10 feet away from me both times. But I was doing my part in clearing out all the square nails for everyone. So I try to help out in that way.
Well, you had a hand in that sword then.
Yeah.
You got all the square nails out for him.
And Barb said that she remembered that DIV. Yep. Barb's at just about every one of them. That's where I met Barb at, and I guess I met you at either Chattanooga or I guess at Chattanooga's where I first met you. But and you brought up a good point a while ago that and everybody that first starts out, they want to know what machine that they ought to get. And that is an impossible question to answer the same for everybody, because it depends on what kind of detecting that you're going to do. It depends on what kind of ground, whether you're going to be in the water. If you're going to do any water hunting, you obviously cannot use a GPX. But if you're in real hot ground and you're hunting Civil War relics and you're not hunting these places that are just covered up with iron, then that's the machine to go, to. But, you made the point a while ago that no one machine is perfect. And if everybody thinks that somebody's going to make the perfect machine, they're going to be sorely disappointed, aren't they?
Oh, without a doubt. And like you said, it's all based on, what you're looking for, what part of the country you're in, what kind of ground is it. Equinox comes close. I mean, I think for Minelab, that's the closest, dual unit that there is. But most detectors that I have met, they don't have one machine. They've got 5 machines or 4 machines, that they pull out for different applications and different things that they're hunting for.
And we'll even pull out different machines on the same site because each of them has their strengths. There are things that they do that the other machine won't do, and you may hear something that you wouldn't hear. Hey, we need to run a commercial break, and we'll be right back. We are very excited to announce that Calico Metal Detectors is now the major sponsor of Relics Radio. Calico Metal Detectors has provided customers with the best metal detectors and accessories for over 60 years, and they offer the largest selection and best deals on metal detectors guaranteed. Calico Metal Detectors features only the very best of treasure hunting equipment that'll help you find coins, rings, jewelry, and relics both on land and underwater. From gold pans to metal detectors, they carry the hottest selling products on the market. And Calico is just a phone call away, before, during, or after the purchase. You can call them at 855-246-2586 or visit the website at www.calicodetectors.com. And by the way, guys, want to remind you that Relics Radio is an affiliate with Calico. And so anything that any detector needs that you have and you order from Calico, just tell them that Relics Radio sent you, and we get a small commission. You don't pay any more. It's going to cost you the same thing. But Calico will shoot us a little commission for doing that for you. So check them out. Calico Metal Detectors at CalicoMetalDetectors.com, I guess is the website. Debbie, you're in New Jersey with Joe DeMarco right now, ain't you?
That's correct, for Digging South Jersey, which will be tomorrow night and on Saturday.
That's going to be a big event, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got some surprises going. Tomorrow night we're going to do a night hunt and launch Vanquish, and a lot of surprises, things that I don't want to give away. But over the last month and a half, I've been doing some Vanquish events, and it keeps the evolution of the event keeps changing. So I will say on tomorrow night we're going to have a red light party. I'll put it that way, and then we'll also have 3 hunts on Saturday.
Good deal. So how many people is it going to be at this hunt?
Probably around 200.
Around 200. That's pretty good. And you know how big the property is?
I don't know the exact acreage. I think it's 20 acres, approximately 20 acres, the site that he's on.
Now, is this a seeded hunt, or is it a natural hunt, or is it both?
Well, it's actually both, because they're all scheduled as seeded, but the last 2 years that I have been here, we found, natural finds all over the property.
Yeah. Yeah, and, to each his own. I prefer a natural hunt over a seeded hunt. I don't know why, but I just do. It just seems like that you're finding stuff, and that somebody somebody lost it, but they didn't put it there for you to find it. But I understand that, the seeded hunts, they're great as well. A lot of people really love those the seeded hunts. I'm just not one of them. I don't know about Jeff. What do you think about it, Jeff?
Well, the only seeded hunt I've been to was Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, and then I hunted the seeded hunt. Of course, you have to hunt pretty hard and fast, but I did walk away with a handful of silver dimes and a peace dollar, and pretty much that's the only place you're going to find a handful of silver like I did that day. But I mean, it was pretty fun. It really was. I got to meet a lot of people, and I will go back to a seeded hunt. So, Debbie, since I brought up Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, you was just down at Calico, and can you tell us a little details about the Florida Detecting Club hunt the week before Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, I'd be delighted to. So I was in Florida, and brought Vanquish out for all the people there to see, and we went out and hunted a park and, had them test it out and everything. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a Vanquish launch in Florida, and it'll be on November 22nd and 23rd. And we're partnering with Calico as well as Central Florida Metal Detecting Club. And this is also a charity event. So we're going to have Friday a red light party there as well on some private property that they have. It will be a seated hunt. We're also going to have a kids hunt, and we're helping out. I don't want to get it wrong, but it's an organization that helps out single mothers. So to participate in the event, each person will need to bring 3 canned items, and then you're in the raffles, you're in the hunts for the whole thing. And so what we're going to do is Friday night we're going to concentrate on doing a special seated hunt for the kids that are involved with this organization to give them a little something back and something special. And then on Saturday we'll be down on the beach, and we'll also have a seated hunt, a night hunt, and a kids hunt as well.
Man, that sounds great. It's Esther Single Mothers Ministry. I believe that's
yes.
the organization. And the night hunt, that would be pretty fun. I've never been on a night hunt, and I know Mark, he went to Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt in Texas, and he said that they had a night hunt, and he liked it pretty good. I mean, have you ever been to a night hunt before?
Myself?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I've been throwing them for the last month and a half now.
Oh, okay. So you've been to one, yeah. So.
Yep.
I never have done that. Now, there's a bunch of nighthawks that hit sites at different places in the country that are not supposed to be there at night. But that Esther's Single Mothers Ministry thing, we didn't go to that last year, but we supported that. My wife and I sent some funds down there to do that, and I trust that Esther Single Mothers Ministry probably is based on Esther out of the Bible, who followed her mother-in-law back to the homeland after all the men met their tragic deaths and everything. But what a great situation that you have a club that are helping single moms, and that you have a club also that is that's helping get young kids started in the hobby. That's the future of the hobby, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And just to see them have fun and, get involved in it, that's one of my favorite things, to see a kid, to talk to a parent or a kid, put a detector in their hands, and then, see them with success. And literally, it was last week, I got an email with a picture of a young gentleman, I think it was 9 years old, holding his Go Find 66 that I had talked to a year and a half ago. And he was saving up his money to buy it, and he finally was able to buy it. And they wanted to let me know, that he's got it, and he's going to start sending me pictures of the finds, and that couldn't please me more.
Yeah, I know. And that was a question that I was going to ask. Whenever you guys or sponsor these kids hunts and everything, what detectors are you giving them? Are you giving them Go Finds?
Yeah, we'll bring about 15 to 30 detectors based on what we think they're going to be there. Primarily Go Finds, and now with Vanquish will also be a good unit to utilize. And then what's so great too is if we don't, let's say we don't have enough detectors for every child that's there, then you get a great club and you get Calico, and they're actually pulling their own detectors out, letting them use it, helping them use it. So no one's going to go away without having a good time and finding something. We've got some really special stuff that we were kind of working on yesterday to get it all laid out. But I think it's just great that the club and Calico are willing to do this, and for 3 canned goods. Where can you go to have a great time at night on the beach with a lot of people, help some kids out for 3 canned goods.
Exactly. And You know, I've met some of those people down there, but and are friends with a lot of them on Facebook, and it just seems like a great club, and looking to expand out and especially reach out to the single mothers and the kids. I just think that's great.
It really is.
It's the right time of the year. It's time to think about other people as well, and who may be less fortunate, but, to also put a detector in their hand and watch that excitement that we all get when we dig up something, to see that for the first time and hope that they'll carry on with it.
Now, how do you set up the kids hunt? It's not like normal metal detecting, is it, or is it? Do you put the coins in the ground, or are you working in sandboxes, or what?
Well, it depends on the location. So we're this one will be on Friday night. We'll be in it'll be a grass setting. So we won't go we'll go very shallow with it, just enough that they've got to use the detector that they can't see it visually.
Right.
So they kind of get the feel of it. And like I said, we've got some other special things specifically for these kids. So I think they're going to have a great time and be very surprised.
And to those of you that are listening, it is the second annual Central Florida Metal Detecting Club Thanksgiving Hunt. It is sponsored by Minelab and also by Kellyco. And so that's the week before Thanksgiving. And so if you're in that area, be sure that you go over there and check that out. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, it should be a great hunt. I was thinking, of course, Avery, he's my son, he's 2.5 years old, and when I turn the detector on, he knows exactly what to do with the coil. He'll grab the shaft and he'll wave the coil back and forth, and I need to get him into a seated hunt somewhere, just where he would have a little fun. But I was wanting to go down this year, but I don't think Jennifer's going to get off enough days to go down there and then participate in this hunt. So, but it would be great to be down there.
You got the best job in the world, Debbie, getting to go to all of these hunts and getting to meet all the people that you meet. But don't you think that getting acquainted with all of the people that are associated with metal detecting, isn't that the greatest find that we're ever going to get out of this hobby?
I mean, they are such great people, and they're helpful, and they want people to join in. And now they might not give all their locations away, but they're willing to share, and they're pleasant. They're doing something that they love. I mean, you can't beat it.
Sure can't. I tell you it. And Jeff and I are very fortunate as well to we've got out and done live shows at Virginia at DIV, and then at Charleston at that American Digger show, and then we've done 2 now at Chattanooga. And it's just, I got to meet you through that. But we got to meet so many people that we have seen in the chat. We got to, Bill Hayes just posted something there. Got to meet him. Scott Hansen posted something. Got to meet him. And, the list could go on and on and on of the people that we've got to meet and be associated with and put a face to a name or a post in a chat or on Facebook group page or whatever. And to me, that's the beauty of it. I mean, that's the best thing. That's the best find that we will ever get out of metal detecting.
It sure is. I mean, meeting all the people there, I mean, it was great. Rick Ward, we met him. And, of course, I mean, pretty much everybody in the chat, we've met them, a lot of them metal detecting. And you can never take that away from us. We'll always have them memories, and that's a big part of the hobby, and we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look forward to going back to places that you've met people, to see them again, and it's an extension of a family. It's you become part of a family.
And we're talking about the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club and their event that's coming up. And that is a huge club, and that's a club that's been there for a long time. And Carolyn is still the president of that club, and she's done a marvelous job with that, no doubt about it. And So like I said, if you're going to be in the area there the week before Thanksgiving, go to the 2nd Annual Central Florida Metal Detecting Thanksgiving Hunt. And Debbie will be there. You'll get to meet her, and there'll just be a lot of people. Half redneck. Mark Hoover will be there. Get your picture made with Mark Hoover. We need to run another commercial break, and when we come back, I know a lot of you tuned in wanting to hear about the Vanquish, and we're going to ask Debbie about that right after this. You know, T-shirts are a perfect way to get your brand recognized, whether you're talking about a business, a club, a sports team, your YouTube channel, or whatever. But you may have asked, where can I get quality, affordable shirts on demand? Well, I'm glad you asked. Relics Radio uses detectors.com for all of our T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and hoodies. That's DETECTEES.com. Ken and Mark Guthrie make quality shirts that last, they ship quick, and best of all, they're affordable. So if you need customized apparel, then go to detectors.com and be sure and tell them that Relics Radio sent you. And I cannot say enough good about detectors.com. They have been a longtime sponsor of this show. They reached out to us and wanted to do that, and they have bent over backwards to help us in every way that they could. And we certainly do appreciate them. And by the way, it's almost hoodie time again, isn't it, Jeff?
It really is. I was sitting here thinking, I'm wearing actually a Dick Dog's hoodie. Tim and Ron, of course, I'm wearing one of their hoodies right now and wore it pretty much all day. And it is hoodie weather. So if you need some hoodies, or if you still want some T-shirts, you need to go to detectors.com and order some.
Yep.
And of course, our cooling towels, you can still order some of them too, but you may not need cooling towels much longer.
Oh, they make great wash rags. They really do. They make great wash rags. Hey, Debbie, tell us all that you know about the Vanquish. This has been something that has been in the works for a while, hasn't it?
It has for a couple of years. I was lucky enough to be sent with a counterpart of mine from Russia to go work with the engineers in Australia to give our suggestions of what we thought our customers would want. So it was a great learning experience for myself. But it's going to be 4 different models, basically 3 models and a Pro Pack. So it will give someone that's just starting out detecting, or that has a machine now but wants a little something different. But they're going to range from $199 up to $499, and they're all multi-IQ, which makes a very big difference. And that's technology that we have currently in the Equinox, and that has made Equinox so successful.
Yeah. And, I kind of picked up on what you guys were saying earlier about the Equinox, and about the Vanquish, and you were saying multi-IQ for everyone. And I tried to think about that logically, and I thought, these are going to be entry-level detectors probably with multi-IQ. And that's gonna be a game changer for the entry level detectors, isn't it?
It definitely will be. You're going to have much more success with it in, being able to hear the difference between iron and a good target. So we're kind of the differences on it. So you're going to have a unit at $199, one at $269, one at $379, and one at $499. So you've got the gamut of going there. The $199 unit is going to be a basic unit. They're all turn on and go. So there's no need to tweak it. It's going to automatic noise cancel, automatic ground balance. You'll have volume control on all of them. But you're going to have a lot of technology in it for the price that you're getting. They'll come with, there'll be a 340 and a 440. The 340 will have 2 detect modes. So you'll have coin and jewelry, and then an all-metal mode. And they'll be running, where on Equinox, when you change the mode, you're changing the frequencies that are being run based on the mode that you're in. On the Vanquish, On the mode that you're in, they'll be running the same set of frequencies. However, your recovery speed will change. So you're incorporating two of the biggest features that are in the Equinox into an entry-level machine. So if I'm in coin mode, that's going to give me the highest recovery speed, which would, for those of you that have Equinox, would equate to a 5 on an Equinox. And then jewelry mode will equate to a 4 on Equinox, and then relic will be a 2. But so you'll get more, you'll have some separation there, and you also have some depth there, adjustable for an entry-level machine.
And I think the strength of the multi-IQ is the separation. That just jumps out at you whenever you use it, and I've told you the personal story of me using my Equinox and had a huge square nail. I'm not talking about just a normal one. I'm talking about a 20 penny square nail sitting on top of a war nickel, and I could just hear that war nickel just singing. And whenever I cut the plug and pop the plug out, this big old square nail is sitting there, and I thought, that's not what I'm hearing, surely. Although sometimes, with some machines, you will get a good tone off of a really good square nail because it's looking at the tip of it. But
right.
There was that war nickel. I pulled just a little bit more dirt, and it actually had a little bit of rust on it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what these machines will find, and also it's going to give you a lot of stability. And I'm sure you've seen it with your Equinox that your target IDs are a lot more stable, even if the coin's at a different depth or a different orientation. And that's the multi-IQ allowing you to cut through that highly mineralized soil and really see the target that's there.
Are any of these machines waterproof?
So all of them the coils will be waterproof. Mm-hmm. And now when I say that the coils will be waterproof, because of multi-IQ, they will be waterproof and they will work in salt water and on wet sand. And as I said, I was just in Florida. We were down on Daytona Beach and had them in the water, in the salt water, and they were extremely stable.
Well, that's where I love my Equinox, is at the beach. I mean, it's as quiet as a church mouse. You can get in the water, and I mean, it runs stable. And then so far, I haven't found any 1715 Fleet treasures with it, but I mean, it's just a matter of time.
That's right, they're out there.
Yeah, and I talked to Steve Zazulek. Of course, he's a Minelab detectspert and uses what is he? XCal was what he was using. And I asked him the other day. I said, what is your go-to machine for finding gold rings? And he said, I've converted over. He said the Equinox 800 is what he's using. Now I don't know if he's altered the shaft on that to a dive shaft or not. I didn't ask him that, but he's really impressed with what it does under the water. Now, I've used mine at the lake doing a little bit of water hunting, and it does a good job. It really does.
Yeah, no, so you're on the Equinox, you're good to 10 feet. So I think with Steve, he's, more shallow. He's doing the Equinox, and then diving will still be the XCal, which is going to be good to 200 feet. But
yeah. It
is, in the salt water, it's nice and quiet, and for a machine at these prices to be an entry level and to have the multi-IQ and be stable in salt water and on wet sand, there's nothing else out there that'll do that.
Yeah. And you're right on the 10 foot, but I would say the majority of Steve's ring finds are 10 foot and shallower. So you're not talking about a lot of depth. Now, when are these going to be available to the public?
So they will be available end of December, beginning of January.
So right in time for Christmas.
It might be a little, we're not going to, there's going to be constraints. We can already see that the demand's building for them. We saw it with Equinox, is with anything that, is going to, make a mark in the industry or change, there's going to be constraints on it. So we're going to do our best to get as many out there as possible as soon as we can. But I know our dealers are already starting to take back orders on them. getting a back order list put together, and we want to make sure that the machine is, ready to go and is going to perform like we want it to perform before we bring it out, which I think is really important.
Man, good. We had a question from Swansea, Brandon, on the chat that said, how do I get notifications on updates of the Knox?
So you want to make sure that you're registered, that you've registered your detector on Minelab.com. And then what we do is anytime that there is an update, we'll send out an email blast to everyone that has a registered detector.
Okay. And, of course, right now it's the update was for the, what was it, the iron bias?
Yeah, we added, so on Vanquish, there on the like on the 540, you have a high-low iron bias on the 540, and the default is high, and that will go over a bottle cap, and pretty much you might get a little hit from it, but nothing like you would normally get. And then it has a low setting that you can go into, and then you'll hear more of the iron targets. So that what it was discovered with Vanquish, that's why we updated the Equinox to include this F2. So now with the update, you'll have an FE iron bias, and then you'll have an F2 iron bias setting. The F2 is specifically for bottle caps. Now, it's not going to wipe out the complete bottle cap. It's going to do kind of an averaging, but it's going to be much better than anything else that we've done before.
And you may not be able to answer this question, but one thing that Jeff and I talked about, and I have updated mine to the F2 or the new update, which includes the F2 and also the backlight on the 600. And you may talk about that in a minute too. But with that F2 cutting out or discriminating out bottle caps, our big worry is that it may affect relics as well, like pewter and tomback buttons and things like that. Do you have any input on that?
I don't, and I can follow up on that because I would like to have more information on it as well, so I can answer specifically these kinds of questions. I don't have it all right now, but it's going to be the same as with the FE iron bias. If you're at have a very low iron bias, you're going to pick up everything.
Right.
If you're high, that's going to cut out some of the complex iron and let you hear the coin. But if you overcompensate for it, you're going to knock yourself out of the game. So it's as with anything on metal detector, when you're setting any kinds of settings up, you've got to have a middle ground, and you really need to play with it and test it before you take it out into a practical area where you're really looking for something to find, and because you have the wrong setting on it, that you pass over those targets.
And Debbie, last week I was out metal detecting with the Knox, and then what I done is I buried a silver dime in the soil that I was hunting, and I took and put it on F2, and then was going around all the way around where it would pick the coin up all the way around. And then I ended up doing pretty good with the Equinox that day. And then just by taking a little coin with me and burying it, it was probably about 5 inches. And I set my machine up for that soil type right there, and it helped a lot. And I mean, that may give somebody some ideas. They could take a bullet or a coin with them. Now, I know you have the halo effect after the coin has been there a longer time, but yet if it picks up that coin that's just been buried, well, it's definitely going to pick up a coin that has the halo effect.
Without a doubt. And then you couple that with multi-IQ, with adjustable recovery speeds. So again, it's another tool for you to use to have a better chance of finding more targets.
That's right. And then that's pretty much. I mean, if you take the Equinox, I've done it with the FE and the F2, and then it done pretty good on both settings. And
Well, you know, you're not going to know until a test garden is the greatest place to test all that stuff out, and that's why it's called a test garden. Is put those things in, run the different programs, set your iron bias on FE or F2, and you know, move the numbers around a little bit and see what works for you, and then you know if it's going to find it or if it's going to discriminate it out, you know. And you know, you don't know until you're in that actual setting. And so what Jeff said is right, you know. Bury some of those things and then work with your machine and see what it's going to do, especially, you know, if you're at a colonial site or something, because there's so many finds there that are in that middle ground that Debbie was talking about. They're not silver and they're not iron, but, you know, there's a difference in the signal strength in all of those. And Jeff will attest to the fact that a brass flat button is going to sound off much higher than a tomback is. And a lot of times, you know, tomback is way down on that, isn't it, Jeff?
It really is, and especially you get into your pewter buttons, War of 1812 buttons, and a lot of machines, they struggle with that. And you just have to, even if you could take a pewter button and do it, put it in the same soil, and then go over it, just make sure you can pick it up all the way around. Now, I know I've dug several good targets that you could only pick up two ways. And normally, if like we have trouble with cut nails here. I mean, we hunt home sites that's littered with cut nails. Of course, everybody does. And a lot of your machines, well, just about every one of your machines, it'll false on a square nail when you go around the edge. If you do a complete circle, it'll false at least 5 or 6 different times. But it's better just to bury your target. And then, like I said, it's hard for a machine to pick up the pewter buttons a lot of times.
Yep. We need to run another commercial and be back in just a minute. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger Magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger Magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger Magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And as most of you know, I am the producer and also one of the co-hosts on the American Digger Relic Roundup on Monday night. It's me and Butch Holcomb and Jeff Lupert. And as I say, we're 9 o'clock Eastern every Monday night. So come and check us out on that show as well. And Debbie, you're going to give some prizes away, and we're going to take some calls, and you have to call in order to get the prize. So Jeff, go ahead and throw the number in there on the chat. It is 270-495-0315. If you've got a question, we want you to ask that question. But we've got a few prizes here to give away to some callers, and so we can't keep anybody on the line too long. But call with your question, or just call in and tell us who you are. And we've already got a call coming in. Michael Bowles, what's going on tonight, Michael?
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good evening, Michael. Doing great.
That's good.
Have you got a question, or are you just wanting to get a gift?
No, it's really a gift, and just to say hi to Deborah, because last event that I was with, that she was at, was for Myers Metal Detectors down here in St. Pete, and she was pretty swamped with everybody asking questions and all like that, so I didn't get a chance to say hi to you then, so hello again.
Hi, Michael. I'm glad you were able to make it out there.
Yeah. But with the Vanquish, because I came into the show just a little bit late and I caught the last end, the waterproofing, is that going to be upgraded, or I couldn't understand that part of your conversation.
So the coil is waterproof.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
that can be submerged. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Deb.
Okay. Hey,
You're
thanks.
welcome.
Thanks for the call, Michael. And
right.
by the way, if you will send your information, your name and address and everything to Mark Hoover on Facebook Messenger, we will get it to Debbie, and we'll make sure that. What did he win, Debbie?
He just won one of the new Minelab camo hats.
Oh, great!
Good deal.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. I'm definitely a hats person.
Okay. Well, you got another one then. And,
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
And phone lines are still open. We love giving away other people's stuff. So call
We
in
sure do.
at 270-495-0315. And while we're waiting for somebody else to call in, Debbie, what is next for you? And I've got 2 calls coming in. What's up with you in 2020 until we get to one of these calls here? Just hang on a minute, guys, and I'll get to you.
We are, hold on. I got another call coming in. No, there we go. We have, I'm setting up Vanquish Launch events and test areas throughout all of 2020. So we can teach people how, if they have questions on the machines they've already purchased, or they can actually test drive another machine that we have.
Okay. I'm going to try to get you in the order that you came in. Steve Slagle. What's up tonight, Steve?
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing
Just fine.
good.
How are you doing, Steve?
Have you got a question for Debbie, or we're just calling in to win a prize here tonight?
Well, I was just listening in and just going to call in tonight and put my name in the hat and tell everybody I've enjoyed the show so far.
Hey, great.
Thank you very much.
What are you going to give Steve here tonight, Debbie?
Well, he got his name in the hat, and he's getting one of the new Minelab beanie pom-pom hats.
Okay.
That is great.
That's great, yeah. Steve, as I told Michael there a while ago, go ahead and send your information through Facebook Messenger to Mark Hoover, or you can get on Relics Radio Facebook group page and send us one. You know where all we're at because you're one of our regulars. And just send your address and everything, and we'll get all of that over. And appreciate the call.
All right.
Let me get somebody else
All
on
right,
here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dennis Grettencord, you're up next. What's up, Dennis?
Hello,
not too
Dennis.
much. I got a question for Debbie. Hi, Jeff. A lot of people ask, what's the life expectancy of the battery on the Equinoxes? I get that asked all the time because people are wanting to buy it, and they see mine, and they just want to know. So can you answer that?
Sure. A lithium-ion battery, normal lifespan is 3 to 5 years, but there are a couple things that you want to do with the battery to maintain it. So number one, never leave it out in extreme cold or extreme heat. And then, so I live in Chicago, so there's going to be, starting pretty soon, there's going to be months that I'm not going to be able to go out and detect. So I leave myself a reminder that every month I take the machine out, I plug it in, let it get some new juice going through, and then you should have no problem.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't live too far from Chicago, so, yep, good advice.
Really is.
What are you
Debbie, is it a good thing to fully, use the detector until the battery dies and then recharge it, or can you just use it maybe a few hours and then plug it back up? Does that hurt the battery life?
No, that won't hurt at all. Batteries now have evolved so much that you're not going to, at one point with batteries, you would have to drain it all the way down before you could recharge it, otherwise it would grow memory. And that doesn't occur anymore with the new batteries. So if you use it a couple of hours, you can plug it in with no problem.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, thanks for the call here tonight, Dennis. And what does Dennis win, Debbie?
Dennis is getting a pair of Minelab socks.
Oh,
Good deal.
Awesome. I love socks.
Yeah, keep them Tootsies warm. Thanks for
Next
the call.
time you're down here, make sure you wear them, Dennis.
I will. One on each hand.
Hey, good to hear from you tonight,
Okay.
Dennis. Thanks for all the support.
Thanks,
and everything.
bud.
And we've got another on the line that I don't know who this is, but the last four numbers of your digits is 6012. Who have we got?
It's Stephen Patterson with Southern Relics.
Hey, Stephen.
Steve.
You got a question for
Yeah.
Debbie?
Yeah, it's just I normally just have a Garrett. Right now I have the Ace 400, and I'm trying to let Minelab win me over to one of their units, and just kind of wanting to see. I know that she works for Minelab. I know she probably don't know a whole lot, maybe not know a whole lot about Garrett, but I just kind of see the differences between maybe the high end of that Vanquish versus like an AT Pro. And I know AT Pro is waterproof, but the other unit is not.
Correct. So I would say a comparable detector would be the 540 Pro Pack. So two of the biggest differences is that based on the mode that I'm in, I'm going to have adjustable recovery speed. So in a trashy area, I'm going to be able to separate the targets more than I could with a machine that doesn't. And then multi-IQ is another very large feature with the detector. What you're doing is you're giving yourself a little bit more better odds of finding something than with a single frequency detector.
Yeah. Wow. And what is the difference in the price between that Pro model that you're talking about and the Equinox 600?
So the Pro Pack will be, it will have the four modes. It will come with two coils, a 12x9 double D and a 5x8 double D, plus Bluetooth headphones. That'll be $499, and then you go into the 600 Equinox, which will be $649.
So you're not talking about a whole lot, and then you've got a detector that is fully waterproof,
correct,
and wireless capabilities and everything. So that's something to think about, Stephen. Don't know what your budget is, but I'm sure that with multi-IQ you're going to get an upgrade anyway.
Stephen, where are you located?
I'm in the upstate of South Carolina.
Okay, I mean keep watch out for my schedule, because I'm going to be doing these Vanquish launches, and everyone's going to be also have a test area. So the best thing I would recommend, if you have a local authorized dealer, is go into them and test the machine side by side. That's going to give you the best comparison.
Perfect.
And
thank you all very much.
What kind of gift are you going to send to Stephen? And Stephen, you'll have to PM us or send us a Facebook message on Relics Radio Facebook group page, or Mark Hoover. But what are we going to give him tonight, Debbie?
He is going to get one of the wine glasses, Minelab wine glasses.
Oh wow. Cool, thank you.
Good deal.
And you can drink our ROC cola out of that if you'd rather.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to throw it in. Hey, thanks for the call, Stephen. I'll put you in the system here. Next time you call in, I'll know who it is. But we appreciate it.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Yep. And we got Swansea on the line tonight. What's going on, Swansea?
Hey, Lloyd. How are you, buddy?
I'm great.
I just want to make a note for the record. This is not Michael Boyles from Florida. Granted, we sound like we have the same voice. I am a different person.
And I've got your names and numbers, so you can't fool me. I know exactly.
You can really pinpoint that down, so you can make sure it's coming from 603 and not a Florida number.
Right.
Debbie, I just wanted to say that I don't have any questions, but I did get the Minelab 800 after you came up to New Hampshire back in April of last year, and I'm enjoying the machine. And Butch and I were talking about you. I hope your ear was ringing at the Pound the Ground event up in New York. So we were talking about the pipe mold, and he was telling everybody about the pipe mold that I found that day. So I just wanted to say that I hope your ear was ringing. We were talking about you back and forth, and I wanted to ask you actually a simple question. Have you seen anything like that in the meantime, by any means?
I have not. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen found. I just wish we could find the other half.
I tried. Butch and I went over this conversation over last weekend. I went through that entire pit. I found every glass bottle till I got back down to dirt. There was no resemblance of anything that looked like the other half.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, the other half was lost to history someplace else. But yeah, it was a cool find. But the other half would have been fantastic.
And you never know. Somebody's got that other half and saying, "What does this go to?"
Yeah.
And then if you could marry them back together,
yeah, they're looking everywhere for your half that you've got now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hope somebody has the other half saying, "Man, if I could put these two back together, we can start this pipe mold process all over again."
Well, it is possible because Sid and Riley Bryant found each half of a plate and put it back together. So it is possible. And Heath Jones came up there April of last year, whenever Butch and all of them were there. And he was up there and he found a large synth. That's what he came up there to find.
And he found it in the front yard of this permission that I've had property permission for about 3 years, Lloyd.
Yeah.
It drove me nuts because I went over that spot probably 15 times. I never should have brought the guy up. I swear to God, I went over that spot. I found a fair amount of silver coins and Indian head pennies. No large cents out of that property. And that son of a gun, probably 6 feet from the front door of the second built house on that 1700s property, he brought us all over. And in the cold and pouring rain, if you remember, Debbie, it was a nasty, nasty day. He dug that out, and we were all standing there present to just watch him dig it out of the ground. So, kudos to Heath for that one, but he's still a jerk.
Yeah, I've seen the video of that hunt, and, man, y'all were troopers that day. I don't know if I'd been out hunting that day. I mean, it was pouring down raining, and, of course, you could tell it was cold. But, I mean, it ended up paying off for Heath, so congratulations to him.
What are we going to give Brandon here tonight, Debbie? A hard
Brandon
time?
Is getting that's what he's going to get. Yeah, he's going to get a light-up water bottle.
All right.
Well, I appreciate that, Debbie. I really didn't expect anything. I just wanted to share that story about, Butch and I reminiscing about the time that you came up to New Hampshire, and I think we all had a good time. We found that little bottle dump and everything, but no, you've been a great guest. You convinced me to get the Equinox 800, and so I'm looking forward to hammering on my old sights with that I used to use with the AT Pro.
All right.
Sounds good. It's glad to hear that.
Just send me some info, if you will, Brandon, me or Mark Hoover, on our Facebook group page or what have you. You know how to get a hold of us, and we'll make sure.
I sure will, guys.
Okay, we'll make sure that you get that out there, and thank you for the call tonight. And we've got another caller in, Charles Dessler. What's going on tonight, Charles?
Hey, how's everybody going?
We're doing
pretty good.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, good. Good. I don't really have a question for Debbie. I just wanted to say that I just love when she's on the podcast because she's well informed, so professional, and she's just real pleasant to listen to on our end here out in the airwaves, I guess, and just all of the events she does and the focus on the kids just really tickles me. I just wanted to commend her and Minelab for that, and you and Jeff as well for having great guests on as always. Oh, and throw in the half redneck too. We got to give him some credit.
Oh yeah, we can't forget the half redneck. And Charles, does my headset sound a little bit better? I know I was louder earlier. I'd got a new headset and I was having problems with it.
It sounded it sounded great, Jeff. It was just you were a lot louder than the other two there, and I didn't mean to step on your toes any.
You didn't. No.
I turned it on, and all of a sudden, I got my headset on tonight. I'm running a machine here in my shop, and all of a sudden, there you were, loud and clear. So,
loud and clear.
But yeah, you guys are great, and I'm out in the shop working late. We've had some. I had to run to hospital today, see a sick friend, and so I'm out here working late, catching up a little bit, and a better guest I couldn't think of, and a better program to hit on my headset here. Just making me feel good. So I want to call and say thanks, guys.
Well, we thank you for the call. And what are you going to send Charles tonight, Debbie?
Charles, thank you very much. Those are very kind words, and I appreciate you letting me know that. And for you, are going to get one of the new Minelab camo hats.
Okay, let's pass that on to the next caller if we can, guys. Okay, and I didn't want to call in for nothing there. I really appreciate it, but let me pass that on to the next caller. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll call in. I'll get the camo hat. Hey, thanks, Charles.
I really appreciate it, Debbie, and I just want to share the bounty, I guess. So let's pass that on to the next one, and you guys have a good rest of the show.
Okay, thanks for the call. Yeah, and thanks for all the support. Yeah, great guy right there. Phone lines are still open for a little bit. 270-495-0315. You may have a question, and we got a cap to give away. Whoever calls next is going to get. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get the camo cap. But isn't it great, Debbie, that we've got all the support that we've got for our show, for you, for Minelab, and everything? It just doesn't get any better than this, does it?
No, it's wonderful, and it means so much for somebody to take the time to call and say stuff, like Charles does. It makes it all worthwhile.
It does, I tell you. And, we're all just sitting where we're sitting. Of course, I'm in the studio here in Southern Kentucky, and Jeff, he's down in Middle Tennessee. And, we don't know who's calling from where. We don't know who we're talking to a lot of times and everything. And to have somebody actually come in and say something to us is great. We've got another call, 2780. Who are you? And the floor is yours.
Jay and Jude.
Jay and Jude.
Say it again.
Jay and Jude.
Jay
and Jude. We're just saying hi to Miss Debbie.
Oh, well, great. Great.
We better move to the Vanquish thingy.
Everything
in Tampa.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. And so you've already got to see that machine. Are you going to get your dad to get you one of those machines?
I got a 600.
Oh well, you do? Yeah, you're in the big time. Then you don't need one of those. Great. Well, I know that you're going to win a camouflage cap if you guys can go over to the Relics Radio Facebook group page and just send us a Facebook message there with your name and your address. We're going to make sure and get that out to you, and I'll let Debbie respond to you as well.
I want to thank you guys for calling in. I remember you guys, and you had a good time. So we'll you have your dad send in your address and stuff, and we'll make sure each of you get something.
Virginia, it's the first time I've ever called into your show. I've been listening to it for a while.
Oh,
hello, Dennis.
Been following you guys for a while, but yeah, I had a question about the Vanquish. I don't know, I came into the program a little late, so maybe she's covered it. What's the weight on the Vanquish?
Good question.
I believe it's 2.6 pounds. It's between 2.6 and 2.9.
I've been swinging the C-Tex for about almost 4 years now, and kind of getting older, and my hands aren't having problems with my hands and my shoulders, and it's time to start looking for something lighter. And
yeah, and that CTX is a beast to swing. It's kind of like the GPX. I mean, you've got a little bit of weight there. Swing.
Yeah, but it's my baby, and I can't imagine getting rid of it yet. But so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. What was your last name again, Dennis?
Virginia.
Okay. I'm sure I won't spell it right, but that's okay. I can get you. I can get you in the system. Yeah. So if you call back again, I will know. So,
believe it or not, even the people that are looking at the name don't spell it right. They don't think it's right.
Oh, me. Debbie, what have we got for Dennis here tonight?
We're going to get Dennis a light-up water bottle.
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
Good deal.
Hey, Dennis.
Great show, guys.
Are you on our Relics Radio Facebook group page?
Yeah, I believe I am. I just about 2 weeks ago signed up for it.
Okay. Then send us a message with your name, and then I'll know how to spell the last name on it, and give us your address and everything, and we'll pass that on to Debbie, and we'll get that prize sent out to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
Wow. All kind of people.
Yeah, we haven't had this many callers in ever.
Well, we when you go to giving stuff away, you get a few more calls like that. Kind of prompts people, I guess, to call in and want to talk to you. Debbie, I asked you a question and you never got a chance to answer it because the calls kind of started. But what does 2020 look for you as far as travel and everything?
Well, I'm trying to do as many events as I possibly can, and keep the grassroots efforts going, because I think it's number one, I get to talk to people that already have detectors. They might have issues with them that they don't understand it, that I can help them out with that, so they have a good experience with the detectors that they currently have, and then to be able to actually have someone test, in their hand in a practical setting of, what they can expect from a detector that they're going to buy.
Well, where's the hunts that you're traveling to? I mean, that right off your head.
Well, right now, so I'm at DSJ now. Then the second week of November, I'll be at DIV in Culpeper. Then the third week, I'll be in Arizona at the Nugget Shooter event. We'll do a Vanquish Launch, and then Kellyco. And then in December, I haven't firmed up my schedule yet, but then we'll start again in January, February, some events out on Quartzsite, as well as then we'll get into the springtime, and we've got some other Go Mine Labbing Day events in Houston and in, give me a test here, Houston, Michigan, and Florida some more. So I'm trying to hit as many places as I can.
Now, are you going to be at Charleston in January again this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't hear you say. And we had a question in the chat here. Does the Vanquish have a backlight for night hunting?
The 540 will have a backlight, and it will be a red backlight.
There you go. Won't blind you, and you'll still be able to see everything. So you can hunt at night with the 540, you said.
Correct.
Yep.
Good deal. With that red backlight, I mean, of course, it won't be real bright. Now, people can't see you from a distance either, so, I mean, that way it works out pretty good.
And Charles wanted to know where you're going to be at in Michigan.
I don't know I can't remember off the top of my head, and I apologize. What I'm going to try to do is I will try to get my schedule as it sits now and get that on my Facebook profile, so that information will be out there.
Travel. I'll tell you what, every time I look, Facebook has these little maps, and it will have your starting place and then your destination, and then this dashed line with a arrow at the end of it, and you're going here and you're going there, and I just think, goodness gracious, do you ever have any time at home?
Not much, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Debbie's a banquet.
If I can get out of Chicago when it's warm, when it's warm somewhere else, I'm all good for that.
Well, yeah, that'd be a great. I mean, of course, Thanksgiving, I'm sure in Chicago, it's going to be pretty breezy, and then of course you're going to be in around Orlando. So I mean, yeah, you're trading pretty good places there.
I try to work that out. And
somebody, Ohio Relic Hunter, said that that red light won't attract bugs, and then Finding America, he said there's going to be a lot of UFO sightings later this year.
Yes.
Debbie, on the Vanquish, we had a question. What size is the stock coil going to be for this, and is it double D?
So on the 340 and 440, it will come with a 10x7 double D, and then on the 540 and 540, so on the 540 it will come with a 12x9 double D, and then the 540 Pro Pack will come with the 12x9 double D and the 8x5 double D.
Okay, so they're pretty good sized coils, and then then of course later. Of course, I know y'all don't have any plans for smaller coils right now. Well, you may have plans, but it'll be a while, right?
For Vanquish, right now, that I think when everybody sees that 5x8, I think they're going to fall in love with it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that is a good size. There's no doubt about it. You can get in there, especially with the multi-frequency. You should be able to get in there in even a trashy side and pick through all the trash with that coil.
Yep, and the Vanquishes, from the testing I've done, and now I'm using prototypes. So there's been they constantly are changing as they're working on them. But it's a pretty fast unit. It'll get you some really good separation in the coin mode, and so I'm very happy with it. And also on the Vanquish, as with the Equinox, those will be updatable as well.
Yeah, just plug it in to your computer, and you'll be able to get the updates on it. That is
correct.
That's the trick right there, as Jeff said earlier.
Yep. Will the 5x8 will it be compatible with the Knox, or any of the other coils be compatible with the Knox?
No, they will not be.
Okay.
Yeah,
that 5x8, yeah, that sounds good. I like that 5x8.
I'd like to have a 5x8 on the Equinox, just see how it do,
Yeah.
But I guess they covered that with the 6. So you can't have everything that you want.
No, and I love my 6-inch. That 6-inch coil is great.
Yep.
It really is.
Got time for one more call if somebody wants to call in. And Debbie, anything else that you want to share with us tonight?
Not really. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you guys. It's great to see you when I can see you in person, but to catch up like this and have the opportunity to talk to Minelab users and people that I've met at other events, and just ask everybody, if I'm in the neighborhood where you're at, come out and try to test out a machine, or just stop by and say hello.
Yeah, and let me put a plug in here as well, because obviously Minelab doesn't want anything to happen to any of their machines. They want the best performance that they can get. But with my GPX, I had my 11-inch double D coil go out. I reached out to Debbie, and just in a matter of a few days, I had a replacement coil there. And so you guys are very serious about customer support, aren't you?
It's one of our, main things that we're trying to do.
And if you can't do that, I don't see how any company, whether it's metal detectors or whatever, if they can't back their product, then I don't think that they're going to stay in business too long. But that's the only problem that I've had, and it was addressed really quick. And I was very satisfied with it, and I want to thank you, because you were traveling at the time. Well, you're traveling all the time, but you were traveling at the time. And we do have one more call. This will be the last one that we'll take tonight, and it's Scott Hansen. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Scott. I had a weird connection here.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but it's kind of crackly.
Oh, okay. You got a question for Debbie?
Well, I just want to call in and say that I did have a chance to meet her up at the Chattanooga show, and a good friend of mine, Bill Henry, was there, and we spoke to her quite a lot about the Equinox machine, and Bill actually bought one that day, and she actually took him outside for the venue there, and and showed him, a lot of the features and how to use it. And that to me is, going above and beyond the customer service. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I'm glad I could help.
You remember doing that, Debbie?
I sure do.
Yeah. And we got to meet Scott and all those guys there at the Chattanooga show.
We sure did.
Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah.
Loved meeting everybody. And, of course, me and Mark Hoover, we're going to be down in Georgia not long from now with the hunt with Scott. So can't wait on that.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up real fast here, November 2nd. So
yeah,
go ahead
before we know it.
Go ahead while you're on here, Scott. Go ahead and plug that.
Oh, yeah, the Digging Georgia Live. It's a Facebook group I started about a year and a half ago now. And I think we're about 820 members strong now. And we decided to put together a seated hunt. And this is our first time doing it. And it's kind of blowing up really nicely on us. And we've got just under 100 that'll be coming out and detecting. Now, we did bump up the initial cap at 85, but it's going to be a nice event. Great sponsorships. We've got Garrett. We've got Minelab. Detect Ed has give us one of his shafts for the Equinox 600 that we're going to be giving away there. There's a couple Garrett machines we're also giving away. Four metal detectors in all, and a bunch of other great other items that we're giving away. So it should be a good event.
And did you give the date and the place of that hunt?
It's November 2nd in a small town called Warrenton, Georgia. It's about 30 miles straight west of Augusta.
Okay. So, guys, if have you capped off your field of participants in that already?
Yeah, we have. In fact, last night was the final deadline to get payments and registrations in. So we are capped off now, and the total amount, we're having some people come out with their spouses and children, and I think we'll be looking total at about 110 people there, including some of our staff members. And there's, I think, 89 or 90 hunters that'll be out there swinging.
Okay.
It should be fun. Can't wait.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yep.
And
Scott, let me know for next year when you're going to do that.
I'm sorry, what was that, Debbie?
Let me know next year what your plans are. If you're going to do an annual hunt, and if I'm free, more than happy to come on out.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we are hoping that it'll turn into an annual event for us. So, I'll keep in touch with you most definitely on that. Thank you.
What kind of gift have we got for Scott here tonight, Debbie?
Scott's going to be able to show off some brand new Vanquish socks.
Okay.
Good deal.
All right,
Scott. I want to see them November the 2nd.
Yeah, I'll definitely wear those. You bet.
And I want a picture. So.
Yeah, I'll
send you that.
Hey, thanks for the call, Scott, and best of luck on the hunt.
Absolutely. Thank you, Loy, and thanks for having a good show tonight.
Okay.
Good night.
That's all due to Debbie. You've been a great guest here tonight, Debbie, hadn't she, Jeff?
She sure has. And I mean, the chat's been live, and then we've had tons of callers. Of course, we was giving stuff away, but I mean, we had a couple that didn't take the gift and then just passed it on to the next one. So, but I mean, she's been a real great guest. We knew she would anyway. We've had her on before, so.
And you know what? I should have wrote all of these things down as far as what everybody got. I got everybody's name, and I didn't write down what they got. So you may get something different than I know that Michael Bowles got a cap. I don't know what. Hey guys, whenever you send in your address and everything, remind me of what you got, because I didn't write them down. I was writing telephone numbers and names and everything. So just remind me of what you got, and then I'll be able to pass that on to Debbie, and we'll get it for you. Debbie,
I'll go through the archives, and then I'll make you a list.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do that too. You've been a great guest, and we always appreciate when the manufacturers take time to come on the show and spend time and answer questions. And give us the lowdown on what's coming out and everything. And we're looking forward to seeing this Vanquish in action in people's hands at their sites, and then see all the finds that they find.
Well, thank you guys for having me again. I love being on, love talking to you, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, we will. Won't be that long. I'll let you say your piece, Jeff, and then I'll close the show out.
Well, thanks, Debbie, for being a guest. Thanks, Mark Hoover, for having her as a guest or booking her. And want to thanks everybody in the chat, and then all the archived listeners, and then the syndication listeners. I mean, we couldn't do this show without you, and this is why we do this show. And then thank you, Lloyd, for being a great host of the show. And everybody have a good night, and God bless.
Well, thank you. And thank you again, Debbie, as well. Somebody put on there that you could win a Vanquish if you could guess my age. I don't know about that. But do appreciate everybody listening to the show tonight. And want to remind everybody that me and Jeff will be back here next Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to have Scott Treckler is going to be our guest this next Monday, or this next Thursday night. I get both shows mixed up. So come and join Relics Radio next Thursday night, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker, or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other podcast outlets. Relics Radio is also syndicated on the Cutting Edge Radio Network and is broadcast around the world. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Diggin' with 7 or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook group page or Adventures in History on Facebook. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to relicsradio@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope that you'll join us next Thursday night, and until then, get out there and dig some history.
Yeah.